Good afternoon to all. Today's our topic is about human female reproductive system from chapter human reproduction. Female reproductive system is an organ system consisting of the following parts. These parts include ovaries, fallopian tubes, then there is a uterus, one more part there is a vagina, then there is external genitalia, then there are glands. We are having vestibular glands, and mammary glands or breasts. So these are the various parts of human female reproductive system. We are having the diagrammatic sectional view of the female reproductive system, which is already available in your NCRT book. So let us just describe these parts, the organs of the human female reproductive system, one by one. So first comes the ovaries. He was steno, steno, in the year 1667. He discovered them, steno. Ovaries are the primary sex organs. These are the primary sex organs of females. We are having two types of organs. One we call as primary sex organs and another we call as secondary sex organs. Primary sex organs are meant for the production of gametes. So the ovaries, in case of females, these are primary sex organs. They produce ova and they secrete the female sex hormones and secrete female sex hormones. These hormones include estrogen and progesterone. These very hormones are responsible for the development of secondary sex characters and marked cyclic changes in the uterine endometrium. Ovaries are two in number. That means a pair of ovaries are there. There are two in number, or you can say a pair of ovaries are there. So far as their shape is concerned, they are almond shaped. They are almond shaped, solid grayish pink gonads of the female and are located. They are located in the upper pelvic cavity. upper pelvic cavity. Here you can see from the diagram, this is one ovary and this is another ovary, if it is visible to you. So far as the dimensions of these ovaries are concerned, we can see each ovary is about 2.4 centimeter in length, and so far as the width of ovary is concerned, it is 1.5 centimeter, and thickness, it is about 1.0 centimeter. This was about the dimensions of the ovaries. Length 2.4 centimeter, width 1.5 centimeter, and thickness 1.0 centimeter. And this is the ovarian ligament. That means ovarian ligament attaches the ovary to the uterus. Are you getting me? Ovarian ligament attaches the ovary to the uterus. Then ovary is covered by a layer of cubical epithelium, which we call as germinal epithelium or germinal. It is germinal epithelium. The germinal epithelium is covered by, and then this is again covered by a visceral peritoneum. Visceral peritoneum. First we see ovary is covered by a layer of cubical epithelium, which we call as germinal epithelium. The germinal epithelium is covered by visceral peritoneum. Beneath this epithelium, germinal epithelium, is the tunica albuginea. Tunica albuginea, a connective tissue, and underlying it, that means underlying what? That is underlying this tunica albuginea, there is the ovarian stroma. Ovarian stroma. The ovarian stroma consists of two layers. One is a dense layer. That means the outer layer. It is a dense outer layer which we call as the cortex. Cortex is what? It is a dense outer layer, and there is the inner less dense layer which we call as the medulla. What cortex contains? Cortex contains numerous spherical or oval sac-like masses of cells known as ovarian follicles. The medulla, it consists of loose connective tissue, elastic fibers, numerous blood vessels, and some smooth muscle fibers. So this was about the cortex and medulla. We know that inside the ovary there are egg mother cells, or we call them as oogonia. These oogonia, prior to the birth, they are present in the fetal ovary during its development, embryonic development. Fetal ovary almost, it contains some 6 to 7 lakh follicles. That means oogonia divided by mitosis, forming primary oocyte. Then each primary oocyte gets surrounded by a layer of granulosa cells. That's called the primary follicle. What primary follicle is? Actually, primary follicle consists of an oocyte covered by a homogeneous membrane that we call as zona pellucida. A large number of follicles, primary follicles rather, they degenerate from the period of birth up to puberty. Puberty age is different in case of boys and girls. It is around 11 to 13 years in case of girls, or 11 to 13 years in case of girls, and it is 13 to 14 years in case of boys. So from up to puberty age, there are so many books. Some books are of the opinion that at puberty, in case of females, there are some around 60,000 to 80,000 what primary follicles are left in each ovary. A book is there, Principles of Gynecology, written by Jeff Cott. He is of the opinion there are some 3 lakh to 5 lakh ovar follicles which are found at puberty. So the primary follicles actually are surrounded by more layers of granulosa cells and are called the secondary follicles. Then the secondary follicles, they soon change into tertiary follicles. The tertiary follicle is further converted into a mature follicle or Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle is its name after D. Graaf. D. Graaf is the name of the scientist who reported them in 1672, and he considered them to be eggs. Graafian follicle is actually the mature ovarian follicle with a size of up to 2.5 centimeters. This Graafian follicle develops under the influence of FSH, follicle stimulating hormone of anterior pituitary gland. The release of secondary oocyte from the ovary we call as it is ovulation, and almost it occurs on the 14th day of the menstrual cycle. And there are some about 400 to 450 secondary oocytes OA which are produced by a human female during her whole reproductive life. That means till the menopause stage, it can be around 45 to 55 years. After the extrusion of the ovum, what remains in the Graafian follicle, that is called as corpus luteum. It means a yellow body. The cytoplasm of the corpus luteum, it is filled by a yellow pigment that we call as lutein. That means lutein is a yellow pigment. The corpus luteum grows for few days, and if the ovum is fertilized and pregnancy occurs, it continues to grow. If ovum is not fertilized, the corpus luteum persists only for about 14 days. And during this period of 14 days, it secretes progesterone and small amount of estrogen. And at the end of its functional life, the corpus luteum degenerates and is converted into a mass of fibrous tissue that is called corpus albicans, or literally it is called a white body. So this was about ovaries. So far as the functions in nutshell are concerned, what are the functions of ovaries? Ovaries are concerned because they are the primary sex organs. As I said in the introduction of this chapter, so functions of ovaries are concerned with the production of ova. So production of ova is the function of ovaries, and also ovaries are concerned with the secretion of female sex hormones. This is about the ovaries. The next is the second part of the female reproductive system, that is the fallopian tubes. Fallopian tubes are the oviducts or the uterine tubes. Now let's move to fallopian tubes.